how Outlander has kept me going through quarantine. I think about Outlander a lot, and the isolation that goes hand in hand with living in the age of COVID-19 has only heightened my obsession. With all the homesteading happening in Season 5 of the Star's historical drama, I've found myself dwelling on the show's humbler pursuits: sewing, farming, cooking, laundry, mending, and indigo dyeing, the 18th century's precursor to tie-dye, as well as the strong marriage at the center of this story, and the grit of its women. So when I got on the phone with Catriona Balfe, the Irish actress who plays Claire Fraser, I asked whether she's been reflecting on the similarities between the Carolinas and the 1770s and quarantine. "I've got my own little herb garden growing," she says with a laugh, over the phone from her home in Scotland. I had somewhat of an interest in that side of things, but, after having spoken with all of the herbologists and homeopaths that we use with the show, I've picked up quite a bit. I just wish I had Claire's talents for making sourdough bread, in quarantine, because everything I've made I've had to throw down the drain. Misadventures in the kitchen aside, Balfe perfectly embodies the character of Claire Randall Fraser. She's a big part of why Star's sweeping romance had me at Sassenach, the first episode in this epic drama that now spans 5 seasons. The show brings to life the detailed world Diana Gabaldon created in her 8-book series. It's a grand love story that focuses on Claire, a British combat nurse during World War II turned surgeon, who finds herself mysteriously transported from 1945 back to 1743, and Scottish Highlander Jamie Fraser, Sam Hugan, the man she falls madly in love with and ultimately marries. In isolation, the tale of this 18th century family seems even more relevant, and not just because my hair is turning gray, much like Claire's does throughout the series, and my family's day-to-day existence feels almost as isolated as the Frasers' solitary lifestyle, albeit plus the fresh hell that is Zoom homeschooling. At the beginning of Season 5, the list of atrocities the Frasers have endured runs long, and their multi-decade saga has taken them from 18th-century Scotland to 1770s North Carolina, just before the start of the American Revolution. Their daughter Brianna, Sophie Skelton, has joined them on Fraser's Ridge, where they've settled in the North Carolina backcountry, after traveling from the 60s to warn them about an obituary she found that detailed their untimely deaths, and it's the first time most of the family is living together in the same place and in the same century. One of the show's enduring attractions is Claire, an opinionated, complex, female lead. The way she and Jamie communicate, whether in the bedroom, their relationship is famously steamy, or on a war-torn battlefield, is passionate, but also full of great care and respect. It's two people who have found their soulmates, but it's beyond time and physics, Balfe says. It's a grand metaphysical love story. It's so well balanced. They are always picking each other up and making each other better people. They are not perfect, and they are not unflawed. When we look at aspirational love stories, we tend to strip away the flaws. But the flaws here make it feel more tangible. This complementary balance, and the strength of the women in this show, is what I keep reflecting on. My husband cooks, I clean. 50-something days into quarantine, we're thankful that we still really like each other. As for working from home, homeschooling our 2 kids, and managing everything in between, it's not pretty. There are good days and bad, ups and downs, and lots of mood swings that have me thinking often about Jamie and Claire, what life on Fraser's Ridge might have been like back then, and how there are so many parallels between this season and what's happening in the world right now. In the recent episode Better Marry Than Burn, Art seemed to mimic life as Roger and Bree contended with a practically biblical plague of locusts on Fraser's Ridge. The episode aired just as grasshopper swarms descended upon East Africa in real life. The same episode began with a man putting a mask up to his face as spray is used to set his hairstyle, just a quick snippet seen as the opening credits finished rolling. Later on, the governor talks about recent legislation preventing 10 or more men from gathering, implemented in an effort to prevent an uprising, another reminder that right now, social distancing mandates are keeping us apart from each other. I feel like Outlander always has really bizarre coincidences, Skelton, who plays Brianna, says on a call from London, where she's self-isolating. Even just the fact that Outlander co-stars Tobias Menzies and Ian Richard, Rankin, and Graham McTavish all have the same birthdays. Lots of us have the same middle names. There are a lot of bizarre coincidences. I was looking at the Locust news, and then all of a sudden the whole world is wearing masks. I think that's one thing that does always happen to add to the richness of Outlander. These bizarre, mystical coincidences. Balfe agrees. Things like that are strange, and maybe it's just because we look for those similar themes in things that we're watching and we're trying to find some kind of understanding through storytelling, she says. Storytelling has always, generation through generation, given us a framework to understand what we're experiencing at any moment, and that's why I think we all find solace in TV or film, because I do think there is a very medicinal quality to storytelling. That feels true to me. With its absorbing action and characters that, at this point, feel like family going through all that making a home in the new world entails, it's become my biggest solace after a long day of the very busy but lonely life that is quarantining. Yes, it's entertainment, but seeing the Frasers, whom I've spent so much time with through the years, addressing the highs and lows, and difficulties, of life on the ridge is also a helpful reminder of what self-reliance looks like. The finale of Outlander airs on Starz on Sunday, May 10th.